I think you overestimate human beings. I don't think you realize the time, money, and resources that went into this operation. You pissed off the wrong people.
I just want to take a moment and talk about Hell Is Us, a game that has piqued my interest for some time. I managed to play the demo back when it was available, and I'll be honest, I'm glad I had the opportunity to try it. The demo was engaging, which made my experience enjoyable as a fan of this type of game and genre. Whilst I don't think this game will have a significant impact in the gaming industry or be a strong contender for Game of the Year 2025, I did enjoy the demo. Was it perfect? No. But it did leave an impression, and honestly, that's all I needed. I'm genuinely interested in playing the full game when it officially releases on September 4th of this year. Developed by Rogue Factor and published by Nacon, two companies that I've never heard of by the way, Hell Is Us draws inspiration from the 2018 film Annihilation and the Southern Reach trilogy books. To me, it felt like Annihilation meets Bloodborne. I wasn't a huge fan of Annihilation, but I'm a huge fan of Bloodborne. In other words, it's weird, it's stylish, and it doesn't feel the need to explain everything upright. It opens up a lot of room for weirdness, psychological tension, and environmental storytelling. Created by the lead art director of Deus Ex Human Revelation and Mankind Divided, two games I actually did enjoy despite having problems. Hell Is Us is a third-person, story-driven, Souls-like action game that blends exploration, supernatural horror, and methodical combat. You play as Remy, a soldier who's gone AWOL, driven by a deep personal mission to uncover the truth about his parents. His journey takes him deep into Hadia, a county consumed by a supernatural plague and crawling by twisted creatures known as Hollow Walkers, spawned from a mysterious event known as the Calamity. Throughout this journey, you will face numerous challenges, engaging in intense combat, and uncovering the secret that lies within Hadia. The demo kicks off in an interrogation room, strapped down to a chair and being interrogated by an unknown organisation, forced to answer a series of questions when suddenly the screen shifts to a point in time where we, the player, take control and the game begins. What follows is about 30 minutes of moody exploration, light puzzle solving, with a slow but satisfying introduction to the game's combat and systems. The story is presented through cutscenes, but more information and lore details are provided by interacting with a variety of NPC-like characters, engaging in conversations that the player can, push forward or choose to ignore. Each NPC has a trade system that serves as a way to give specific items to that character, to that NPC. You can't actually buy or sell anything in the demo. Whether or not you'll be able to do that in the full game, we'll just have to wait and see. There are also notes scattered around the world to read and provide more information regarding the overall narrative. I chose to ignore them in the demo in favour of the full game's release. I just wanted to experience the overall gameplay combat. Aside from everything else, for me the main reason why I wanted to try out this demo, or any demo in general, is to experience the overall gameplay. The graphics, the plot, characters, world, etc. for me are irrelevant in a demo. If the gameplay doesn't resonate with me, I'll probably be more inclined to skip it. As we take control, we'll be navigating through a dense atmospheric forest in Hadia, filled with luscious greens and hidden secrets. Along the way, you'll have the opportunity to engage in conversation with NPCs, uncovering bits of lore through optional notes and dialogues. You will also encounter a need to solve a rather simple puzzle that serves as an introduction. Opening an ancient door that leads to the depths of an underground tomb, it's there we meet our first Hollow Walker, a pale, faceless abomination that wouldn't feel out of place in a Silent Hill game. You're quickly saved by a mysterious woman who takes down the creature, but is suddenly overwhelmed and falls. You grab her gear, equip yourself with the tools we need, and begin our journey through the world of Hell Is Us, where the game officially begins. At its core, Hell Is Us follows a traditional Souls-like structure, featuring many gameplay mechanics that takes many inspirations from games like Nioh, Lies of P, and Bloodborne. If you're a fan of the genre, Hell Is Us will be very familiar to you. There's a stamina bar, a standard light attack, as well as a heavy attack that you can charge up. You can dodge enemy attacks, lock onto enemies, change your equipment loadout, etc. You can carry two weapons that you can switch between, equip defensive gear, as well as equipping active and passive relics. Although I've never seen any relics in the demo, so I'm not entirely sure what they do. You also have a belt for consumable items such as health packs, throwing items, etc. It's very Souls-like. Hell is Us does add a little twist to some of the traditional Souls-like mechanics, however. One main mechanic in a Souls-like is the inclusion of a bonfire-like system, or rest point, where when you die you lose your souls or in-game currency, and are reverted back to the last rest point. For example, in Lies of P, you lose a percentage of the echoes that you've gathered. In Dark Souls, you lose all of your souls and must go back to where you died to retrieve them, etc. This is a standard feature in the Souls-like genre, however, Hell is Us doesn't have that mechanic. Instead, there are save points scattered around the game's world. When you die, you lose weapon progression and any loots gained from enemies to the last save state. So as long as you make sure you save regularly and after gaining specific items that you're looking for, etc., you'll be good. It's a little less stress-free in that regard. The stamina system works differently in Hell is Us. Instead of your health and stamina working independently, your stamina is relevant to your overall health. Every time you take a hit and lose health, your stamina is lowered to match your overall health bar. So if your health is really low, you'll have barely enough stamina to attack. It is something that you really need to keep your eyes on, and it does add a significant challenge, especially if you run out of medkits. Hell is Us also features a healing pulse mechanic that's slightly similar to the key system found in Neo and Bloodborne's rally mechanic. In Hell is Us, it serves as a way to receive health back that you've lost by landing consecutive hits. By pressing the R1 button at the right time, you can gain the health that you've lost during a specific fight. It's very precise, so if you suck at timing or like any parry systems like I do, this will definitely frustrate you. It is a cool system, and when you get it done right, it can feel rewarding. It did for me anyway. Weapons also level up naturally as you play. There's no like experience points or upgrade points that you use to upgrade your character per se. Each weapon has an independent level system tailored to that weapon. So the more you use it, the more the weapon will level up and get stronger, etc. You also have a little companion with you that you can use, an air droid that sits on your right shoulder. You use it to scan hieroglyphics around the world, but also provides combat advantages and abilities that you can edit and change when you unlock more abilities. Facing more than one enemy, for example, you can order your droid to distract one of them, whilst you focus on taking the other one down. Some enemy encounters are linked. Linked enemies are a little bit more challenging to take down, requiring you to first take out a red spectre-like creature known as a haze. These creatures are a little less predictable than the regular enemies, requiring you to think fast and stay on your toes. Essentially, it's like fighting two enemies at the same time, but you can't take out the main enemy until you take out the haze first, so that's the gimmick. A simple strategy would be to use your air droid to distract the main enemy whilst you can focus on the haze. Honestly, I really enjoyed the demo for Hell is Us. I didn't go all out and do everything in the demo because, like I said, I wanted to keep the game relatively fresh and spoiler free for when the game gets fully released. I was a bit disappointed that I didn't get to experience like a boss fight in the demo, but I thought the overall experience of the demo so far was interesting for me. Hell is Us was a game that I had my eyes on for some time, and now that I had the chance to actually try it out, I can honestly say I'm interested in seeing more. The one thing that I wasn't really a huge fan of was the interface, the UI of the menu. It just looked boring from a design perspective and unappealing to navigate through. Nothing bad to marginally hurt the game, I'm just not a fan of the Fallout style, kind of interface. It was fine in Fallout and it felt more fitting within that world, but it just feels out of place for me in Hell is Us. It's not a big deal and I'm sure I'll get over it. It definitely won't change the genre or, be a strong contender for Game of the Year, I don't think, but that doesn't really matter. It doesn't mean that it won't be worthwhile playing or experiencing. I do get the sense that the developers are at least trying to put a little spin on the Souls-like formula. The stamina, for example, being linked to your health, that could push players to engage more thoughtfully, especially without the typical, stamina regen buff seen in, other similar games. The fact that weapons upgrade and level up as you use them can add a layer of strategy and replayability, encouraging you to try out different weapons and seeing how far that weapon will go and evolve. To me, it feels more organic, like you're growing your tool sets instead of just upgrading something in a menu. The save mechanic is another thing. This might make the game more accessible to a broader audience. It sounds like a conscious design choice to retain challenge, but cut down on frustration, especially for players who might like Souls games in theory, but bounce off the punishing death mechanics. Do I think Hell is Us will redefine the genre? No, I don't think it will. Will it compete for Game of the Year 2025? Probably not. I know it was just a demo that I played, but from what I saw, I think it's clear. But none of that really matters. What matters is that Hell Is Us is doing something interesting for me. It's dark, atmospheric, ambitious, and it piqued my interest for this type of genre. It knows its audience, and it just adds enough new ideas to feel like a bit different. It's not trying to reinvent the wheel, but it does roll it down a different, weirder path. Come September 4th of this year, I'll be diving in. I'm not expecting a masterpiece, but I'm hoping for a moody, memorable ride through a heart of a broken world. Hello. What's your thoughts on Hell Is Us? Let me know in the comments below. Is this something that you're going to play? I think based on the demo, I will enjoy it and I'm looking forward to the game. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, and by the way, I have a second channel if you're interested. A channel based on my past live streams on Twitch and long Let's Plays. If you are interested, check it out. The links will be in the description below and at the end of the video. Peace.